I'm back with Who's Hot and Who's Not a couple hours before kickoff, so I'm going to crack right in. And we're starting, as always, with the Who's Not. So this is Brimson right at the bottom of the list, like 1 or 2% are selling him this week. And yeah, I completely understand it. He's had an up and down sort of scoring pattern, with 5 tries stuffed in the middle there. And price at 39, he's averaging 38. It just doesn't seem to have the role this year, and is definitely relying on tries, which is something he can definitely get. But the Titans just haven't been that good. A reason to hold might be the wing fullback half duel, which is always handy. It will be handy over the bye rounds. I don't think he'll be playing Origin. They only do play one of the major bye rounds, but obviously the minor ones are ones to consider as well, although he may not be in your best starting 13 for either of those rounds. So yeah, I think if you're in head-to-head, I'd definitely be selling. But overall, you could potentially hold on, but I'd be leaning closer to sell. He had big kick meters last week, but that's because Tom Weaver went down. So Campbell's back now, so he'll be back to low kick meters, and he'll definitely be relying on tries. And yeah, if the Titans were in better form, I'd say maybe hold. But yeah, you've got Newcastle, who just seem to have come into a bit of form, and then Canberra, who are almost top of the table as well, into a bye, into the Storm, and Broncos. So yeah, I'm leaning towards sell here. But obviously this is a pretty tough week to be selling a green dot, just with the Roosters bye and a few other players, popular players, going down this week. Mamazelis, Preston, Horsburgh, to name a few, Stafford Toa. But yeah, you could probably hold one more week for Newcastle, but I'd be looking to sell him before their bye probably. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. Jack Cole, wow, I can't believe he's even on this list. He's an easy sell. I can't see him coming back into the team anytime soon. So yeah, he's an easy sell. Angus Crichton, backing up after 2 pretty average scores. So yeah, I think he is definitely in sell territory. He's got the bye this week. He'll then play the Bulldogs, and then most likely be playing Origin. So yeah, I mean, on the off chance he doesn't play Origin, you could maybe hold for the Dogs and then wait for news on the squads, which will happen after this round ends, round 11, going into round 12. He'd be someone handy to hold over the bye rounds if he isn't playing, but he's the incumbent. He hasn't been in the best form this season, but I still think his Origin experience carries weight, and I do think he will get picked in the team. His break-even's 76, so yeah, chances are he does lose a bit more money if you do hold him. But yeah, chances are you're going to have quite a few red dots, and if there's other Roosters players, I'd rather hold than him. So I'm definitely leaning sell here as well. But if for some reason you held him and he didn't get named for Origin, then he'd be pretty handy to have. He will play all the major bye rounds, and he will have 2 byes here in round 14 and 17, which are standalones. The Roosters are the only team on the bye that week. So yeah, I think basically if he doesn't get named for Origin, he is a very good buy in round 12. And someone I'll be absolutely looking at. But for now, yeah, I think you're probably safe to sell him. And we're on to Corey Paik. So he is now the bench hooker. Billy Walters is starting, so Paik is just getting 30 odd minutes a game, and yeah, you can safely sell him. He is an absolute sell this week. No, I don't think there's any point in holding on. Purdue, so he had his 3rd lowest score of the season last week. Still scored a try, but towed up by the Warriors. I mean, yeah, it's pretty hard to score well against the Warriors now. But yeah, averaging 41, he's now priced at 41, break even of 34. So he's definitely not an urgent sell, but he's one that you can look to move on in the coming weeks, although he is a player that has a bye in round 12 and then doesn't have another one until round 27. So he does give you good coverage over the bye rounds. If you're playing head-to-head, he's an easy sell. Coming into a informed Penrith, into Manly, I can't see him scoring too well, but he's shown that he can score well against anyone. He scored 61 against the Panthers last time they played, so never going to rule that out. He's a guy that I would definitely be fine to loop with this week. He's not going to, even if he gets a pretty bad score, he's not going to lose much money, and he still could have another boom game and make another 20 or 30k this week. So yeah, for me, he is a fine hold or a fine sell, but yeah, definitely not a buy. Don't think anyone's buying him anyway. Robert Toya, yeah, backing up off a 96. This one's hard for me to speak about because I did sell him last week, although it was to get Dylan Lucas, so I can't be too upset about that. But yes, Robert Toya, I was also at Magic Round in the front row, and Toya came round to the crowd after the game, so I spoke to him briefly as well, which was cool. Obviously didn't tell him I sold him because I was too upset about it, but yeah, 96, wow. He had a hell of a game. He was breaking tackles, offloading for fun. Obviously the Dolphins weren't much good defensively, but yeah, I'd say absolutely hold on to him if you can. Break even of 2, so he's going to make more money, and he gives you good coverage over the bye rounds like I was talking about with Angus Crichton. So yeah, I think he's definitely one to hold now that he's scored this and got his break even right back down. Yeah, I really don't think you can be selling him unless there's like 2 or 3 other players you desperately want to keep. Like if you had Toya, Savala, and Nafahu White, along with Mamazalis, Preston, and Horsburgh, which I actually probably would have had if I didn't sell them last week, I'd probably be selling Mamazalis, Preston, and Horsburgh and trying to hold those 3 Roosters players if you're playing overall. If you're playing head-to-head, I think you could sell him this week. If you are struggling on the ladder, if you need wins, you can definitely move him on, because for head-to-head he's going to be pretty redundant over the sort of bye round period, because he'll be playing in the 2 slots that are only 13 starters, and which is the head-to-head matchup bye week, so you don't even play during those weeks, and he's going to be on a bye during the weeks where you actually have head-to-head matchups. So for head-to-head, he's a pretty easy sell, I would say, if you need to. I think you can hold him one more week, just so he plays the Bulldogs and makes another 30k, so you can get that last bit of money out of him. But yeah, for overall, I think you can hold. Head-to-head, you can sell. Alright, and Marky Mark, so sort of similar situation. Obviously, same team, same bye schedule, but he does have the dual position, which is slightly more beneficial, and I think he has been a little bit more consistently scoring well here, averaging 42. I think Toya was averaging 41. But now he's playing on the wing. He's got 3 tries in 2 games. He's playing pretty well. Decent base stats here. But I think I probably put him in the same basket. For head-to-head, you can basically sell him now. He's going to be, obviously not much use for the next sort of couple of months in head-to-head matchups. But you can definitely hold one more week if you are able to. But yeah, obviously playing the Dogs, it's not going to be the best attacking game. The Dogs obviously have a good defence. But yeah, he's made his money. And I think for overall, it's tough because I would prefer to hold Savala and Nafahu White over Mark. So yeah, basically, if you do have too many Roosters, he'd be one I would sell before the other 2. And Wong as well. Sorry, I just got cut off there. Just got a phone call, but I am back. So I was talking about Sir Wong. let me gather my thoughts here. So, yeah, a lot of Roosters players on this list, and Wong is putting up pretty much keeper numbers here. If we do take out his first game, we've got this game here as well. If we put second row, he's averaging 52.5 on his second row starts. So, yeah, he's a guy that you probably do want to hold on to, and it's tough because obviously you own a lot of Roosters. I'm sure most people own Savala. There's White, there's Nwanganitawaze, there's Toya, there's Crichton on the list as well. But I would probably do everything I can to hold Wong here. If you do have to take, especially for overall, if you do have to play a few of your, emergency guys you wouldn't usually play, I think it is probably fine this week because, saving a trade here, and having Wong over the buys, I think is going to be really useful. And I think for a bit of short-term pain, you're going to get some long-term gain. So, yeah, I think I'll be holding on to Wong if I can. But if you're down to 16 players this week and you have to sell someone, then I guess he can go. But he's putting up good numbers, so I think I'd be looking to hold him. And another Rooster, Nafahu White, I think I like him even more just for the fact that he's probably going to get an uptick in minutes over the bye periods where, Crichton will be gone. Wong's already playing 80 minutes, but, Crichton's going to be gone. Collins won't be playing. Lenu sounds like he's going to be in the team. So White's basically going to be their main prop, along with, you've got Radley there and then a bunch of rookies, Faketi and Blake Steep. Nat Butcher is still going to be out for at least a month, I think. So, yeah, I think White can pick up. He can sort of have more games like this one in round 7 where he played 65 minutes for 58 points. And he's averaging 50, which is just shy of Wong. And, yeah, for me, White, I'm definitely going to be holding for overall. And head-to-head, I think, you probably, for head-to-head, he's one you can look to sell. Any Roosters player, I think you can look to sell them for head-to-head. I think that's what my group decision will be on Roosters players. Jai Gray, so he is now the bench utility for the Bunnies, and I think you can safely sell him. He obviously, he played fullback last week, but he went off early with some kind of injury. But yeah, break even of 60 now. He's made a little bit of cash. He's been solid scorer, but Latrell's back. They've settled on their house for now with Humphreys being back and Sullivan there. So yeah, I think you can safely move Jai Gray on. Connor Watson, another Roosters player. I think I'll just sort of give you the same spiel here. If you're playing head-to-head, I think Watson can definitely go. If you're playing overall, I think, he can probably... He'd be one I'd be looking to hold as well. Averaging 52 at hooker. There's not really any other hookers averaging that except for Egan and Clark for the Warriors. So yeah, I'd probably be trying to hold on to Watson for overall, to be honest. He hasn't been great the past 2 games, but he did play. He got a try here, but he did play most of the game at 5/8. So not really. You can't really take this game as a Connor Watson game, but obviously, I mean, he played 30. Yeah, if we take out the 39-minute game here, he is averaging 56 still. So yeah, I think Watson is a guy you probably want to hold on to, and yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing that where I own Watson in a few of my teams. Preston, he is out for 1, 2, 3, the bye and the 4 games here, so he is a sell. Unfortunately, he's been absolutely brilliant this past month, scoring tries, putting up huge scores. But yeah, it was very upsetting to see him leave my team because I mean, it didn't even really look like a crusher tackle. I might need to be educated on the definition of it, but I've seen a lot worse crusher tackles just get a bloody penalty and that's it. There's no suspension. So yeah, pretty upset about that one. But yeah, he's a sell. Stafford Toa, so I think he is due back next week for the Rabbitohs game, and then they've obviously got a bye in round 12 and round 15. He's been averaging 44, priced at 38. I think his career best season he averaged 37, so I think he's due a few more low games here. But obviously the Tigers have been good, so maybe you want to bump that up to 40. So he's a guy you can probably hold on to if you can afford to, but I would sell Stafford Toa before any of those Roosters players I've just gone over. I'd sell him first because he is injured and the Roosters players are just on a bye. And I think Stafford's made his money where those Roosters guys are looking like guns. Even if you're comparing him to Noangani Nawase and Robert Toya, I would hold them over Stafford Toa, so I'd sell him first. So yeah, easy decision there for me. Sandon Smith, another Roosters player. So his break-even is 43 now. He's averaging 36. If we take out his bad game, injured game, it's 41. But I would be selling him for head-to-head and for overall. I think he's made his money, and although we've seen he can put up a game like this, I think you have to take games like the 20 and the 30s, mid-30s along with that, and at this point in the season it's not really worth holding on to any longer, so I think he can safely be sold. Mamazelis, I think he's the top of the sales list, and rightly so. He is out for at least 3 weeks, I believe, and he's made a lot of money. 250k, really good. But yeah, break even of 47, even if he comes back in 3 weeks, I think you can safely sell him and move on to bigger and better things. And onto the buys, we've got Kalen Ponga here. So yes, he's finally supposedly come good. He did play 75 minutes. I saw he came off slightly early. The Knights had the game in the bag. Yeah, they definitely had the game in the bag. So just took a chance to give Ponga a little 5-minute rest, which is absolutely fine. But yeah, he looked pretty good. 2 try assists in this one. Run meters decent, but still could be better. Could be hoping for a few more kick meters as well, and tackle breaks. Maybe not. He doesn't seem to. He actually hasn't been taken on the line that much, just with his rib injury, I believe it is. But so now he's priced at 40. He's averaging 43.6, so there definitely is a little bit of value there, and historically he can average up to 55 to 60, and yeah, I think he is a decent buy. I think he will play Origin, so for head-to-head, I think he's definitely a decent buy. For overall, I think he's not a screaming buy. You can definitely just wait, and if he does go and play Origin, I think he could be someone you buy for the run home maybe. But yeah, I wouldn't blame anyone for jumping on. He's a fallen gun that is really cheap, and it's probably the cheapest he's going to be all season. Although he could just pull out another 22 and lose another 20k. So with that break even, but head to head, I say buy. Overall, I feel like you could wait on it. I don't know. It's a tricky one because he's had one good game, but the Rabbitohs weren't much good at all. But in saying that, the Titans and Parramatta aren't very good either. So yeah, maybe he is a good buy. All right, King. Oh, I thought it was King Tonga, but it's Loco Pacifici Tonga. Now this guy has been named on the Dragons bench for his debut, as Emre Gula is out. But I would definitely not be buying this week. I'd be definitely waiting and seeing how many minutes he gets. I can't see him getting more than 20 minutes. We still need to wait and see if he's going to be nailed in the 17 going forward. and he's one you can definitely wait on, and I wouldn't advise buying this week at all. There's better, cheaper options out there. There's no great ones besides King Tongia, but I feel like most people already bought him. But there's a few other guys out there that I'd probably still be buying over him. Blake Brayley, so this is just out of necessity of needing a hooker, I would say, and he's currently averaging 49.7, which is pretty good. He still has 3 buys to come, and if we look at his historic average over the past few seasons, we go just hooker games, we got 45 in 2024, we got 45 again in 2023, and we've got 48. So he's going to be that 45 to 49 player, and you're probably buying, Bryce at 47, you're buying him, you're paying for what you get here. And I can't blame people for jumping on him because the hooker situation is pretty bleak. But I feel like I'd prefer going for Aaron Clark or Wade Egan in this situation. Just the Warriors have 2 buys left compared to the Sharks 3, and I think Egan and Clark just have slightly more upside. Like, they can probably both average a tick over 50, where Brayley, I just don't think he can. But Brayley is a guy that basically never misses a game from injury, so I think he's definitely a solid option just to chuck in your hooker spot and forget about it. But yeah, in terms of buy schedule, he's got one in 13, I believe that is. Yeah, round 13, round 19, and round 25. So not ideal for 25 if you're a head-to-head player. And that's like right when your prelim will be, or your grand final. So just got another phone call, but once again back. I think I was just finishing up on what I was saying about Brayley. I think I was looking at the buys. Head-to-head wise, I think he's okay. We'll play in 11, 14 and 17, which is when you need him. But yeah, and then overall, I mean, he's okay as well. But I don't know, I just feel like it's not optimal. It doesn't feel like a great trade. But in this situation where some teams only have Mamazalis as their hooker, Brayley is one of the guys that does play 80 minutes. There's not that many hookers out there playing 80 minutes at the moment, so you could do worse, but you could do better, I'd say. We got Liran Patea, who is on the bench for Penrith for the second week in a row, and after scoring a try last week, I think people are seeing that 56, thinking it's going to happen every week. But yeah, I mean, no, I can't get behind this buy. I think going in, they've got a bye next week. A lot of people will have Cleary, a lot of people have Yo, so that will mean if you buy him, you'll have at least 2 or 3 players guaranteed to be out next week. And I just don't know if this guy is going to be in the 17 week to week. You've got Sorensen coming back in week 12, I think it is, and I'm sure they'll have other forwards coming back as well. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but yeah, he won't be getting big minutes here. 28 seems like a lot for a benchy for Penrith. He might have got extended minutes due to them blowing out the Broncos, maybe not though. But even as a 28-minute player, priced at 21, I can't see him averaging much more than 30, and that's if he stays in the team. So no, I think this is a bit of a trap here. Tapane, he is a certified gun, and I can't blame anyone from jumping on him at the moment. Price at 58, he's averaging 60.6, so that's pretty big. He probably won't average 60 for the whole season, but I think something in the high 50s is doable, although the past 2 seasons he has only put out sort of low to mid 50s, but I think this season he just seems to be a different beast, if that's even possible. And Yeah, I like Tarpany as an overall buy because he won't be playing Origin. He plays the fit in round 12. He does have 3 buys coming up, but yeah, he's one of the top scoring players at the moment, and I think you can plug him in as a gun and as a keeper. But it's just, if you were playing head to head, I don't know if I would be buying him now. I think I like someone like Tino Fasuamalawi or Jaden Campbell even, or Ali Katoa, maybe just guys that are a bit cheaper. I mean, Jaden Campbell isn't, but I think Jaden Campbell can average more than Tarpany. But Tino, I think he's low 700s. I think Tino can probably score the same as Tarpany. And for head to head, you only need them for rounds 11, 14, and 17, and then going forward, Tino won't have the late buy as well. So yeah, Tapani I'd only be going into for overall. I think he's a fine buy in overall. Metcalf, wow, people are buying him now, chasing the 93. Fair enough. I wish I still owned him, but I just don't think he's a buy at this price, 47. The Warriors have been really good. He's been scoring lots of tries, been kicking a few goals. He's been missing a lot too. Doing a lot of kick meters, run meters, nice. But turnover tackles and a try save. So he did get a 9-point tackle last week as well, along with the 2 tries. Line breaks. I don't know. I think 47 is he's probably going to average a tick over 47, I'd say. But at the 637 price, you're really going to be wanting to buy him now as a keeper. And I just think that he's 1 tier below a keeper maybe. And I think I like getting on guys like Fogarty, or obviously there's Clary, or waiting for a guy like Jerome Hughes to come into some form at a cheaper price. We know what Hughes can do when he's in form. And I don't like Metcalf as a buy this week. I don't know if he can keep this try scoring going. I really hope he can, but realistically, 0.8 tries a game is not sustainable for a half, I would say, although he does put himself in really good positions to score. I don't think I can recommend him as a buy. Jamie Humphreys, I think I can't recommend him as a buy this week, although he is averaging 64, but Latrell now has the goal kicking, so that takes him down to a 58 average if we remove the goals. Price at 47, and then if we also consider the fact that Latrell might do a bit more of the kick meters as well, and a bit more of the playmaking. But Humphreys is a guy I'm going to have a very close eye on, because the Rabbitohs bench setup kind of looks like Humphreys could be playing a bit at halfback and then moving into play hooker for when Havili goes off. So if that is the case, I think he will be a buy, but he does have a break-even of 68, so I think he's a perfect guy that we can just sit back and watch this week, make sure he's got the role that we like, and then jump on him if he does. But if he doesn't, then I don't think he's going to be someone that we want to own or be paying this premium price for. So yeah, that's my call on him. Jaden Campbell, I think he's absolutely fine to be buying this week, although it's always a worry buying a player the week they come back from injury. But yeah, priced at 58, he's averaging just under 62. He's going to be the top scoring wing fullback this season, I would say, just with the role that he's got as a halfback in this Titans team. And I really like him as a buy for head-to-head. But for overall, I feel like you can probably wait on him just to see how he goes after coming back from the injury, and just give it another week maybe, as he is really expensive, and if he does sort of go off re-aggravating whatever he did, syndesmosis, I don't think you can really re-aggravate that, but if you are in the market for a gun, I don't mind it at all. and he's an out and out keeper, and at half and at wing fullback. Jazzy boy, he's one that I've been probably thinking about the most this week, because it's just tough to project what he's going to be doing. I mean, this week I think he'll get a decent amount of minutes and a decent score, but Burnley have Josh Aloiai and Lachlan Croker and potentially Sipley coming back into this team, and what it means for Tavanga is maybe that he just plays 40 to 50 minutes, and even at this price, 366k, I think he's worth a punt. The mid-hooker duel is really helpful. Everyone's looking out for hookers this week. Break even of 6, so he should make some money at least. But yeah, it's a tough one, because we've seen here he has been getting solid minutes, all right minutes, I guess, if we filter out that one. But he has been playing hooker where he doesn't score that well, but when he's playing lock, he does score well. So yeah, we need him to be playing 40 to 50 minutes at lock, and I think he can make that 100k and be decent cover at hooker for you. But if you're buying him as your sole hooker, I just don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, Jazz is one I'm definitely looking at buying this week. Just the cheap price, the hooker duel, and the coverage over the bye round. So he pairs up nicely with Aaron Clark, who's probably to come on this list. So he has buys in round 16 and 19, and Clark has buys in round 15 and 18. So you'll have a hooker starting in all of those bye weeks, as long as they stay healthy. So yeah, I think probably a buy, but just one that I'm not super confident on. Fletcher Sharp, he is a guy I'm pretty confident on, although he's getting really expensive now. He's priced at 51. He is averaging 57, but he has scored a few tries, scored a hat-trick on his birthday. I watched that live and loved every second of it. Yeah, it's tough because I feel like now I probably prefer Jaden Campbell as a buy, even though he's an extra 88k. But Sharp doesn't have a buy until round 18, so that's a plus. But he just doesn't have that kick meters base that we're looking for from a half. He has been making heaps of tackles, but that's really good. It makes up for the kick meters, and he just looks really good on the field. He just looks like he's wanting to be involved in everything. So I think you can still buy him at this price, but you just have to be prepared to be. If you're bringing him in now, he's definitely got to be a guy you're looking to keep the rest of the season, because yeah, you're paying a premium, and yeah, he's going to have some low games in him, but yeah, I think I still like him as a buy and as a potential keeper. We've got Carraz, so he scored a hat-trick last week, 102 points, 14 tackle breaks. He is an absolute fantasy machine, and the offloading is just, yeah, the offloading is really good, and priced at 51 now, averaging 60. I feel like 51 is about where he's going to average. If we look at 2024 winger games, he averaged 51, so, and that was with 2.2 offloads a game, so currently averaging 4 offloads a game, so he's got the potential to average up to 60, and I think you can still buy him, especially for overall coaches. I think he's a good overall buy. He's got a really good buy schedule for that, buys in 13 and 16, so only misses 2 minor buy rounds. So yeah, I think he's a good overall buy, and for head-to-head, maybe a little bit less. I think I'd probably rather go with Dylan Lucas or Beau Fermor as a centre, and wing fullback I'd rather go for Jaden Campbell in head-to-head. So, but yeah, he's close, but I think I prefer those guys. We've got Riley Smith here. Yeah, tough one. I think though Joey Lussick's due back from injury next week, and Brendan Hands, I think he's back this week, but he's playing reserve grade. It just puts up a little bit of uncertainty with Riley Smith. If Hands or Lussick were to just come onto the bench, Smith could still start, but the other guys could take 30 minutes off him, where now he won't be playing the 80 minutes or the high 60s or 70s, and he'll be playing more like the 50s minutes, where he's already priced at 29. If he's only getting these kind of minutes, he may only average sort of 35, so he's not the worst buy, but I just feel like he may get nerfed by the having a bench hooker on the bench. So yeah, it just doesn't seem like they want to play him for the 80 minutes. He came off here. Let's just quickly have a look into this. He came off here at the 60-minute mark, and I think his day was done. Yeah, 59-minute mark, and then he came back on due to Tuivasa getting injured. So yeah, I'm just a little bit worried about his minutes there, and I think I would avoid Riley Smith. I prefer Tavanga as 25 or 24k cheaper. I think I prefer him as a buy. Aaron Clark, another hooker. He's been going really well in absolutely hot form, red hot form. The past 3 weeks he's played the 60 minutes plus, and I think going forward he's priced at 51. I project him at around a 50 average in 55 minutes ish. He's going at 1 point per minute at the moment, so if he is playing 55 minutes, he could average 55. He's shown he likes to offload through most of these games. His run meters are really good. Tackle numbers are pretty good, missing a few tackles, so that's all right. So yeah, Clark is a guy that was a really good buy last week. I think he's still someone you could look at this week, but it's tough. It's getting into territory where you really want him to be a keeper, but yeah, he's just like Metcalf. He's probably like a tier below being a mid keeper, but in terms of having that hooker duel, he could be one of the top 3 highest scoring hookers this season. So when you put it that way, I think he is a guy you could look to get if you need a hooker, and I definitely do need one. Mamazelis is my only one, so I've been looking at Clark and Jazz Tavanga and just trying to work out if I want one of them, both of them, or none of them, and going elsewhere. But yeah, Clark is a guy I'm potentially buying this week, because even with Fisher Harris coming back, I think he's been a key in this Warriors team, and I think he's going to still get the minutes. And worst case scenario, he goes back to 45 minutes, scores mid-40 scores. It's not the end of the world, just to have a hooker over the bye rounds, and that's worst case scenario. So yeah, Dylan Lucas, the second most popular buy of the week. That's correct, and rightly so. He is just a fantasy gun. He has really strong base stats here. Loves a tackle. Run meter's really solid, and then doesn't do too much else, but that's put him up to a 58.8 average, and for a guy you can play at centre, that is just fantasy gold. And I bought him last week because yeah, it's a rare thing when you get a player that's averaging 58 and you can start him at centre. So I still think he's a buy, even priced at 53. Get him in there, shore up one of your centre spots, and doesn't have a buy until round 18, won't be playing Origin. I really like Dylan Lucas as a buy. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Short and sweet. And then we've got Liking King Togia as the buy of the week, according to the population of fantasy players. I think he's been bought in by almost 10% of teams. Yep. And I completely agree with it. I bought him last week. He has already made 30k. He scored a nice 47, albeit with 2 try assists. Not really getting the base of kick meters, but that's fine. He's got some decent tackling numbers, decent-ish. Run meters not too bad as well. And priced at 19, all you got to do is average about 30 and he'll make you the money that you need. At a break even of 1, he's well on his way to it. So, yep, buy him. get him in, use him as a cash down to upgrade one of your other guys to a gun like Dylan Lucas, Tino, if you're playing head-to-head, Tarpany if you aren't, Jaden Campbell, guys like that. But yeah. And in terms of starting him this week, I'm not so confident on that. He's going to be versing the Warriors, so a team that is currently third place at the moment, so not sure how he's going to go against them. But if you do have to start him, I'd probably try and loop one of your other players, and then if they score 35 or less, then I would start King Togia in that case, because he plays in the 5th game. So yeah, I reckon he's good for a high 30s score this week, maybe low to high 30s, but we'll just have to see. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Feels like my voice is about to go. But yeah, kickoff's in a few hours, so good luck with that, and I'll catch you in the next video.